Welcome to Radiant Midlife, the podcast for women who know they're here to lead differently. I'm your host, Tara Preston, midlife matriarchal awakening and transition guide, sacred nourishment and feminine prosperity mentor, creator of the Flower of Life Akashic Healing Method and certification, serving women globally for over 14 years. Here we explore midlife as a sacred portal of rebirth, a time for cycle breakers, visionaries, and mothers of new paradigms to awaken their power and rise as matriarchs. Each week, we'll dive into soulful conversations that blend the spiritual and the practical, from feminine leadership, womb wisdom, and prosperity to holistic wellness, hormones, and herbal support. Everything you need to feel nourished, radiant, and free in this next evolution of your life. Because midlife isn't an ending, it's the beginning of your most powerful chapter yet. Before we begin, I'd love to gift you my free ebook, Sacred Nourishment for Midlife Radiance, a beautiful guide filled with nourishing rituals, herbal wisdom, and feminine prosperity practices to support your vitality and radiance. You can download it through the link in the show notes. Welcome home. Enjoy this episode of Radiant Midlife. All right, we're live. Okay, welcome to the next Secret Radiant Midlife Secret Series podcast episode. I'm really excited to dive in. As with all of the speakers that I'm hosting, I have invited them into this podcast, the Secret Series podcast, because they've inspired me. And I really feel like they're bringing forward a paradigm shifting narrative. And Kelli is no different, and I'm really excited to dive in today. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about her talk and who she is, and we're going to dive right in. So today we're talking about midlife. Midlife isn't downhill. It's your SOULFIRE upgrade. And if you really kind of take Kelli's essence in online, she really has that SOULFIRE energy. And she's really a very embodied example of what the power of midlife can be. So she's a midlife revolution leader. Kelli Falla is a midlife revolution leader, helping women 40 plus detox old identities, biohack their health, and step into sovereign leadership over their body, wealth, and legacy. I love that. At nearly 52, she embodies what she teaches, that midlife is not a decline, it's an awakening. Through nervous system awareness, biohacking, and identity recalibration, she helps women design their next chapter consciously and not by default, which is so powerful. All right. So, yes. So where do you feel like, we were talking a little bit before we dove in just about, it's always nice to just touch base, like where the journey began, but where do you feel like your midlife kind of like awakening began? Let's just kind of like, travel the spiral from there.
Oh, so powerful. Thank you firstly for having me on, Tara. It's beautiful to come on here and share together as midlife women going through it together, which is pretty cool. Oh, I got a bit emotional when you were speaking then. It's like, wow.
Oh, I love that.
Like a quick rewind of my journey. So let's begin. So I was 42. Firstly, about age and number, it still blows me away, right? I still think, am I 52 soon? And then I squash it. I think it's just a number, and this is the journey. I just embrace it and go for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, 52 I was, and I was quite a rebellious type of woman. Yeah, I knew that there was more in life. Let's just say that. But I was going down a different path of not believing in myself, being stuck in the the society sort of rules and following along, even though I didn't want to. So I was breaking the rules in some areas of my life that were quite detrimental to my health, my relationships. I had children. So, it would have been some 25 years ago now. I had a big event happened in my life. I'm not going to go deeply into it. You can go through to my socials to find out everything about.
Absolutely.
I don't hide anything. It's just the way it was. And so at 42, single mum with 2 children, and I thought something needs to change. Like I just felt this pull, and and I decided to just go down the personal development path. read a book of a beautiful friend, Susan Santoro, that I know, invited her in, did a big women's expo of 300 women. I'd never done anything like that before, got up on
Wow.
stage, told my story, bawled my eyes out.
Love
but
it.
I got women together and realized at that point in my life, if I was going through this at 42, I just knew for sure that there was other women that were struggling. So that was sort of the beginning of my story and the awakening, let's say, the awakening of who the hell is
Mhm.
Kelli? Who the hell is Kelli? Why is she here? Yes, I was born here. Number one is very important. The second is working out
Mhm.
why you're here, who you truly
Right.
are. Yeah.
So,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I was just going to ask, so what did you uncover about why you're here? That would be, yeah, I'd be curious
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. Yeah, as I said, I knew that there was more. I knew that we didn't have to follow the crowd. And
Mm-hmm.
I knew that deep within that I
Mm-hmm.
knew. I knew who I was. I just had to trust. And I didn't know anything about intuition.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything about biohacking. And I was just naturally drawn towards detoxing my life in all the ways. So,
Mm-hmm.
firstly, it was retreats, it was getting around people like that, it was spending time with Regan Hillier, in a small group over in America. I just took myself to places that stretched me, and to truly figure out who I was, my personal branding. If I wanted to build something different online, being a mother with two children and being single, I didn't want to do a job. I didn't want to go to 9 to 5. I didn't want to give my
Right?
soul to other people telling me what to do, which is part of my rebellious streak. And
Mm-hmm.
I knew, and I thought, if these people can do it, I can do it. So that was the message I got from powerful women, number one.
Oh, I
Um,
love that.
yeah, and I do, Tara. I keep it very, very simple. I don't overcomplicate. I don't follow the crowd as such. I speak my own language. I feel I stop being like everyone else. And that's who we're here to
Mm-hmm.
be, unique
Mm-hmm.
to us. People either like
Mm-hmm.
us or they don't. And I've moved through so much stuff in my life where, I was on public display. I was in the media and I was talked about in not a very nice way. And that has grown so much resilience and so much strength in me that it has
Mm-hmm.
built this not not built like I'm covered. It's really broken me open to, you can't
Mm-hmm.
hurt me anymore. Whatever you say is not going to change me. And I know
Mm-hmm.
deep down I'm a good person. So that's all I basically need
Yeah.
to go on this path of awakening to more of who I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, knowing who you are exactly and having that
Mm.
strong inner foundation so that we're less
Yeah.
shakable. Yeah, and able
Yeah.
to rise in our power. And I think the part
Mm.
that you're saying too about intuition, and trusting your intuition as a part of your awakening journey is so important because it's such an extension of our soul, which will like lead us forward through all those places of, the matrix or suppression or the boxes that we tend to like exist in. So I
Yeah.
love that you honored that and that
Mhm.
you're still honoring that and that you let it dismantle, like really trusted that and let it dismantle so much in your own experience. That's really powerful. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And do you find that that's a piece that you're often supporting, women with as well in their awakening journey? Like, do you find that, yeah, I'd just be curious.
Yeah. I feel the way I show up. So I'm
Hmm.
such a big believer of walk your walk, talk your talk,
Yeah.
and being so positive. I mean, I have noticed other people that, are leaders and healers and coaches and all those things.
Yes.
When I delve deep, I don't follow everyone, of course, but only the
Hmm.
ones that I know behind the scenes walk their walk,
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
you have to be in it yourself. And I will never ever say that I am at that place. I
Hmm.
can lead, but I can lead myself, but I can't
Hmm.
lead others to and forcefully make them do it. So I want to, well, have been inspiring, but also aspire. I desire women to take action. That's the main thing. They can sit back and
Yeah.
watch and watch and
I
watch and
love
think,
this. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Because you're
can't be
speaking
like,
about leadership in midlife.
yes, yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
leadership, you have to lead yourself first, and then you become that mentor. And but it's only for the women that want to step into that. They want to change their identity. They're sick of living
Yeah.
the life that they're living, and they're awake at night going, "This is not the life that I desire. It's not the body
Mhm.
I want to be in. It's not the relationships I want to be in." Like there's so many parts of our life, and midlife allows us to, well, seriously, we've been through stuff. We've got wisdom, we've
Mhm.
got experience.
Right.
Our
Hmm.
life hasn't been perfect. I
Yeah.
can honestly say that. And we don't want it to be perfect. We fail
Right.
forward and it doesn't define us. That was one big thing I had to believe in myself, is what happened in my past does not define who I am. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a big shift.
That's,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Beautiful. I love that. Let's touch in a little bit on this concept of like biohacking. We haven't really touched in on that.
Yeah.
And we're speaking about, aging and midlife. And, that's something that I've heard you bring forward a few times. What
Yeah.
is it for, yeah, talk to us about it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, this is great. Many years ago, I was at retreat, and it was
Yeah.
like my identity. Who am I stepping into? Who am I becoming? And biohacker firecracker, like I knew I had this energy and this personality that I just
Yes.
love people. I love movement. Um, but I still also know to settle, because as I've got more
Right.
into this, into my age, it's all
Yeah.
about the nourishment and the nurture and the space and all of those
Right.
type of things. But to kick it
Yeah.
off, I was just like, go for it. I'm here to live big.
Yeah.
So I titled myself the Firecracker Biohacker. And the biohacking it's hacking away at your biology, but I also say hacking at life, hacking at relationships,
Mhm.
hacking at all the protocols of health, passion, relationship, all your health, movement, all of it. It all comes together. You
Mhm.
can't have really one without the other. And
Mhm.
and then I started to question myself about biohacking. Is it too strong of a word? Is it like hacking? Is it forceful?
Right.
Because midlife,
Is
as
it
we all speak
cheating or
about,
I don't know. I know it's not,
yeah,
but yeah.
yeah. Where it's really your biology. But again, I just put my spin to it. What feels good for Kelly? What allows me to
Yeah.
step into my energy? I don't follow the crowd. I don't care if people
Mm-hmm.
say biohacking's not the word for midlife women anymore, and all those
Mm-hmm.
things. Like
Yeah.
it works for me, and what works for me may not work for someone else.
Yeah.
But I'm not here for everyone. So let's just
That's
say,
right. Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, hacking is trial and error. It's like, okay, tomorrow, let's
Mm-hmm.
try something else. And
Mm-hmm.
it's moving with the times, because I'm not the same person as I was 10 years ago, and I'm not in the same body. But in saying that, I've learnt so much where I can change who I am. I
Mm-hmm.
can change my body. I can youthful age. I
I
can
love
be better
that.
now than I was back in my
Mm-hmm.
30s, because of
Totally.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. I only
what I
started
put in my,
lifting weights like 2 or 3 years ago, but that was the first time where I was like, oh, I
yeah,
can like sculpt my body in midlife. I'm realizing that I have the power to do that. And I've
yeah,
gotten stronger.
yeah,
I think I'm stronger than in my 30s. So yeah. And I really
yeah,
see that in you,
mm,
obviously.
yeah.
But yeah.
Thank you.
So
Yeah,
being
it's a
able to,
belief.
yeah,
Mm,
right.
yeah.
Being able to work with your body. Okay. Yeah. And your beauty
Mm,
and yeah, and just at that cellular level. I love
yes.
that. You
Yeah.
mentioned something about like nourishment and
Mm,
kind of like speed. And I think that it's
mm,
really interesting in midlife because we do have access to a lot of power in midlife, I
mm,
feel, but we're not necessarily moving at the same physical speed, I don't think, but yet we still can
yeah,
create a lot. And I just kind of heard some of that when you
mm,
talked about like,
mm,
the nourishment piece. And I just curious,
mm.
like, how do you, yeah, like what does that nourishment piece mean to you? How do you like tend to lean into your creative power, but still find that speed while taking care of yourself? What does that look like even in like your
Mm.
daily or weekly life?
Yes. Well, again, it's back to listening to your body. It's understanding what you need to to operate, to perform, it's a cellular performance of everything in life, showing up for people, having the capacity, excuse me, having the capacity to show up and be that leader, to get up and be motivated and have that energy to work out in the mornings, to move your body. So it's all about giving back to me in that beautiful way. And by moving my body, I still do HIIT training. And I used to push to do 7 days a week. Now I do 5 days a week. And the other 2, I go for a walk, or I get up and I do nothing. And I just play with my daughter all day. And I jump on a pillow or something that moves my body, or I dance. Like I've got there's so much joy inside of me that I just break out in a song or dance wherever I am. And I don't care who's watching or seeing. I'm just here so much, Tara, and everyone else that's listening, to be in my joy. And that's number one, because there is a lot of stress in the world, isn't there? We can get sucked into that way of thought, or we can remove ourselves and just give ourselves that space and be with ourselves, be with what lights us up, not expecting happiness, the external, to give it to us. We're here to create that. So that's the nourishment part. And it also goes into all the things I do behind the scenes, as well as, saunas, dry body brushing. And I get in my time, like dry body brushing, like 5 minutes every few days, put the music on, and I enjoy that. Like I really enjoy giving my body love and not picking on the bits that maybe were sitting up higher 20 years ago, and now they're, you can see, you're changing, but I give it love now. And it's the things you do behind the scenes can really improve that. You do not have to age like
right.
thing
that
you do.
Do you feel like, and I don't know, maybe you don't, but, and it kind of is, I'm trailing off the last question that I asked, digging a little deeper. Do you feel like you move at a different pace, like than your 30s or 40s than in your 50s? And like, how have you supported that? Like for myself, now I'm 48 and I come from, like more of a coaching paradigm. And I've really been looking at different systems and structures, like the way that I move wants to change, and I want to honor that. And I'm just curious. Yeah, you can speak to that. You kind of did, but I just want to see if there's anything else there.
Dig deep. Love that. Well, let's talk about before I was 42, 10 years ago, when I woke up. I was an alcoholic, and I was drinking, and I was burning the candles at both ends. I was just pushing, but I was also doing the health side. So it was like one, and then it was a stress mechanism. It was a numbing mechanism, all of those things. And that's when I realized that was what was shutting me down from stepping into who I could be, my confidence and courage, and to lead myself in the way that I wanted to lead. And not so much slowing down, because I'm still a go-getter, and I've got more energy than I've ever had.
That's what I mean. Like it's
but it's also picking and choosing when to use that energy, saving it for those parts of my life that I enjoy, like getting up. I love working out. It's such a dopamine hit for me. And I know it's great for my heart. And, I hear women now say, just do weights, pull back on your cardio, and don't do so much of this because you'll retain the weight and then your inflammation. And I thought, it all makes sense in science. But if you're doing these other protocols that reduce your inflammation, like, for example, hydrating with incredible molecular hydrogen water, which is inflammation, turmeric, and rest, and getting your sleep, and not being on devices, all of those things make a difference. And I think it'd be great for all women that get older to know that they can change the way they've been living, because we're so programmed, and to change it all. And that does fill your cup up, and it gives you energy in so many different ways. That gives you clarity. Clarity is huge. Clarity is huge in
So I love that. I feel like part of what you're saying is like you're more joyful and energized at this stage of life than maybe like 15 years ago kind of thing. I mean, I see it on you, so it's quite
Yeah.
powerful. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, one of the things that you're really passionate about, of course, is the biohacking, but like health. And one of the things that you mentioned was the 8 foundational protocols. We don't have to go into all of them. We absolutely could, but just like
Mm.
tell us a little bit about that.
Mm. Mhm. Well, when the crazy world shut down,
Hmm. Hmm.
we had a gym. We had a gym back then, and of course the doors closed. In Victoria, it was hit hard, and
Right.
I'm sure Canada was one of the other
Hmm.
countries,
Yeah.
along with New Zealand, that were hit pretty hard. And it was just like, what the? We all need to move. Why are certain things staying open? And anyway, I won't go into that
Yeah.
story, but
Yeah. Yeah.
at that time, I thought, I wanted to dig deeper on holistic health because, it wasn't, let's just say, I didn't believe in what people were putting in their bodies and it was detrimental to their
Right.
health. So I wanted to understand
Yeah.
more about how we can have a strong immune system, how we can take control, be the experts of our own health. So
Hmm.
I signed up to work with Tyler Tolman. I don't know if you've heard of Tyler Tolman. He's an incredible holistic healer. He's fasting. He heals many, many people all over the globe from disease, all types of disease. So I
Wow.
worked with him in a huge capacity, did all these programs, become a student coach of his,
Oh, wow.
um, did many prolonged fasting, 10, 14 days. It's just mind-blowing, not just physical, but on the emotional and spiritual side and the
Mm-hmm.
mental side as
Mm-hmm.
well. So yeah, I learned all the 8 protocols of health, and me being, I love simple. We don't have to overcomplicate life because as we get older, there shouldn't be any more overwhelm, right? We're trying to, well, bang,
Yeah.
let's stress less, yeah?
Right.
Stress only causes
That's
aging.
right.
Um,
And inflammation. Go
yeah,
ahead.
all of it. So it makes sense. All right, if that's what causes that, do the opposite. Anyway,
Yeah.
so 8 protocols of health. It starts with, of course, air. We unconsciously
Hmm.
breathe, but air in the way that the environmental, pollutions and what we can do to clear our environment
Hmm.
of toxic air pollution.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so water is our next one. We can't go without water. So
Yeah.
very, very, very my number one biohack is water, and been drinking molecular hydrogen water for over 7 years now. Game changer, to say the least.
Yes.
And I'm sure, Tara, you drink it, you know
Yeah, I can
about that.
attest. Yeah, me too. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah.
So that's foundational. I'm all about the foundational pieces. And then you stack on top of that. And the next is of whole foods, movement, goes into sunlight. We need sun. So I'm big on
Mm,
sitting in the sun, not wearing sunscreen,
right.
being smart about that, and passion, relationships. And I think I've forgotten one. Oh, sleep, of course.
Mm,
um,
yeah,
so
right.
yeah, so they're the 8. I think I said 8.
Wow.
There might be one missing. I don't.
Well,
But
that's pretty
yeah,
comprehensive.
yeah, and I break my
That's
life up
simple.
into those 8. Yep. And it's
Hmm.
just a great guide for people to go, okay, in that area, am I doing the little things? And you don't have to focus on all of them at once. I always
Hmm.
say, just do one at a time. Change one habit that's the umbrella of your life. Go away, Mozzie.
Hmm.
And yeah, you start stepping into that, changing some habits around that, or changing your identity about what you think about that.
Hmm.
Nothing, money or anything has to stop you. There's a lot of, you know, free things out there that you can do. It's a
What are
choice.
some
It's making
examples
that
of some
decision.
free things?
So for example, beach, river, nature, get out,
Mm,
move. You don't have
yeah.
to. We traveled up north a few years ago, right up the top. We had no
Hmm.
gym, no nothing. We just had a few little pieces, and I did a program called Thrive in 30. We made it up ourselves after we did 75 hard, and we got like, I don't know, 20 people traveling. There's families that aren't as wealthy, but they still want to
Hmm.
live this amazing life. So the wealth side, they've sold up everything. Oh, sorry, Mozzie's around me.
I can't see them, but I can imagine what you're dealing with. Yeah.
Oh, they love this tropical. And
Yeah, we get them bad up here too. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. They're there. They love us. So yeah, so $30 for 30 days. I didn't want to charge big money for people.
Wow.
I just felt like I
Mhm.
wanted them to step in to try something for 30 days. And it was amazing. We had no gym. So we just did it online, and you can do anything. People have got a lot of excuses today to not step into something that may seem hard to them or unknown, uncomfortable, and want to stay in their comfort zone.
Mhm.
I don't know. They're scared of something. They're blowing up or something. I don't know. It's
Well, I
like,
find with midlife women, just working with them, in pretty deep capacity, they
mm,
are often afraid of failure, like, and are
mm,
afraid of like repeat failure instead of, I find this is
yeah,
often a piece too, like looking at the failures as like lessons, like an opportunity to recalibrate into
mm,
a new story, like into a stronger foundation, taking the lessons. Do you want to speak to that a little bit? Like, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because if you choose something, it's who you surround yourself with is huge. If you're going
Mm,
to stay around the same toxic people or the ones that
mm,
complain and they don't go to the gym, which, um, I say with love to my friends who are still my friends, I,
yeah.
I was I was in that circle, and I become the other one. You become who you surround
Right.
yourself. So I broke away from that circle with love and
Yeah.
surrounded myself with women who I wanted to step in, not to actually be them,
Mm-hmm.
but who, if they had what I desired, of course,
Mm-hmm.
that's who I want to be. So that's who I chose to surround myself. So number
Mm-hmm.
one, that. Next thing, just do it. Like, you know, have 30 days off drinking or sugar, just 30 days. And that's why
Mm-hmm.
we've got this
Like
Thrive in 30.
eliminating it.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
validate it. Yeah. Know that you
Mm-hmm.
can do hard things. That is the biggest shift anyone needs
That
to
you
do within
can do
themselves.
hard things. Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely.
Yeah. Because it's not always easy, but it becomes
Mm-hmm.
easier. It becomes
Mm-hmm.
something unconscious. Like I get up and go and work out and challenge myself now without any doubt or any feelings of I don't want to do this today. And it's
Mm-hmm.
discipline because sometimes we're not motivated, but I can
Mm-hmm.
say I am motivated because it makes me feel freaking awesome. It
Yeah,
gives me
it
life.
changes
It gives
after
me
a while. Hmm. For me, anyways, because I didn't really lift weights or anything until about 2 or 3 years
yeah,
ago, but now I love it. And now I get
yeah,
excited about it. The first year, probably, I was like, it really
yeah,
wasn't fun. Like, I'd have to really work with myself to get there and do it. I'd feel good after. But yeah, now I do feel
yeah,
good.
yeah.
I kind of want to swing it back to this idea of like, because I feel like you kind of live on the edge of the unknown, which is that's again, that's soul fire, that's soul level leadership.
Mm,
We can hold a vision. We don't actually ever fully know where we're going. But just,
mm,
speaking about, women sometimes not wanting midlife women because sometimes we've been conditioned or we have pain or we have trauma from
mm,
past failures. Like what does it mean to you to live from that place and what's your mindset? Like, how do you navigate it? And what kind of wisdom can you kind of share around taking
mm,
these leaps, to
mm.
make your life bigger, better, and following that call of the soul, like you did, 15 years ago and are still
Mm.
doing?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Keep taking those steps, one foot in front of the other. Um, I realized I wasn't truthful to myself. Number one, um, living in a life that was, people don't want to feel shame. They don't want to feel embarrassment. They don't want to feel the failure. All those low vibing frequencies that bring up the pain, right? So many
Mm-hmm.
women suppress it. I remember going to my first counseling session when my marriage broke down, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget the counselor saying to me, Kelli, there's so many women in midlife that look like they've got it together and they
Right.
haven't. They've got
Right.
such a facade because they're scared of crumbling, they're scared of losing people, they're scared of accepting. And of course, being
Yes.
women and mothers and
Mm-hmm.
martyrs, and we lead but it's in a detrimental way at times because we put ourselves last, right? So we're here, we want to make others happy, and we feel that's our job. And it's not. We give to the point where we get to this age, 40 plus, whatever, and there's burnout, there's sadness, there's like, what have I done for myself? What have I given back to myself? And then all of a sudden it's like everyone thinks that they're going through this crisis and they've gone mad and all the hormones and everything is coming up. And it's not that at all. It's because women suppress how they've felt for so many years. And they've been programmed and they've followed, and they don't want to upset, or they might carry some guilt that, their husbands are working so hard and they're home and they've brought up the children, but believe that that's what's expected, but it's a business too, isn't it? Running a home and being the mother and all those things, and dealing with all different emotions. And so I was one that truly suppressed of how I was thinking. And I know that when my event happened, that was quite big back then, was I wanted to get on with life. It's like you shove it under the carpet, you shove it under, and then this rug, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until something happens. And that's what happened in my life. And there's the breakdown, which now I give it love, because that is when the breakthroughs start to happen. You either stay there and things get worse, or you wake up to it. I was mum with 2 beautiful children, and I thought, I'm not being the example of this for my children.
Yeah. I always say that every time a woman chooses herself, she heals the mother line. Like, I think it's just so powerful, and we're so enmeshed in such an old way of being in our leadership and in our feminine leadership. So that's such a powerful example. And I think it does require courage, but also when you step into your soul fire and you lead from that place, one thing I've always seen in my life and working with women is that everybody, especially the family matrix, like gets an upgrade. Like everybody. So it's like, it can feel like you're shedding and losing, but like the matrix of your life and those that you're really in congruent relationship, really, like everybody gets the upgrade. So it just becomes a reason to keep doing
Love that.
So I just wanted to speak to that a little bit. I have loved interviewing you and hanging out, but I just want to ask, is there anything else on your heart and anything else you'd just like to share with our listeners as we start to kind of ground out today's call? Yeah.
Firstly, thank you for having me. It's been amazing. It just feels so great to speak into this part of our journey, and just that there's so much more. Like, it's just the beginning, truly. So I just want to talk into that with women, is to firstly surround yourself in a community. Get yourself around women that are on this journey. We don't need fixing or all those things. It's just bettering yourself. It's feeling more alive and awake in who you are, and more self-love. Right? I truly believe that many women, and just people, but women predominantly, are walking this life and not knowing who they are, not knowing what lights them up, not going for their dreams. Yes, it'll be there, this whisper, but just grab onto it and fail forward. That is my favorite word, mantra anyway. But also, things are always working out for us. You've got to realize that if things don't work out, okay, let's detour. Let's go this way. Let's try this. Be open to trying new things. I just want to give an example of what got me out of feeling it like this, and people, looking at me and judging me and comparing all those things. Is I was at an Eric Worre event in Queensland at the very start of my journey. And he said, all right, I want you all to go out before we meet back here tomorrow and do something that's going to put you in the spotlight that, you'd be so embarrassed, if you did this. But I really want you to do this. So we were at this casino, and it was a perfect opportunity to lay there in the foyer of so many people walking through the foyer, and lay down there with your eyes closed and just lay there and know that so many people are looking at you. They might be talking about you. They might be judging you, and just see what happens. So I did that, and that was such a turning point in my life because I got up and went, guess what? I'm still alive.
Right.
You don't have to worry what other people think because that's their perception of life. And
Mm-hmm.
just keep moving on. So
Yeah.
yeah, don't
Yeah.
worry what people think, the judgment and comparing, and stay in your lane. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
just bring all the joy up in your life that, and feel it all,
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Mm.
so
I
I could
love
speak so
that.
much more, but
You could, absolutely. I love this. And you
go
could
ahead.
for sure. Thank you so much for hopping on with us. But before you go, do you want to speak a little bit to what your free gift is? I think it kind of speaks to yourself, but I just want to weave it in, or to itself, but I just want to weave it in. The Midlife Identity Reset Guide. So
Yeah,
that is Kelli's free gift. I don't know if you want to speak to it a little bit or if it just kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
explains itself. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. That's right. Yeah, well, it's just broken up into the things that I've spoken about. So detoxing, which is not just your physical, so it's like I talked
Yeah.
about your environment, your mental and your spiritually and all the things. Also the
Mm-hmm.
biohacking. So I go into a
Mm-hmm.
lot about that, and also the 8, principles of health, which is huge for me. That's what I follow. And just the identity shift is becoming her
Mm-hmm.
now, like just deciding this is
Yeah.
what's inside of me, and I'm going to open it up and I'm going to share who I am, my authentic self with the world.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, not carry any, load of the past. It's time to flick that, ladies. It's time to, that's my past. This
Mm-hmm.
is a new initiation of stepping into this more powerful, amazing, beautiful woman
Mm-hmm.
that's here. She's a genius, so much wisdom.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
real, and what I hear you saying is it's a invitation into like a full permission to step into a
yeah,
new version of yourself.
exactly. Yeah.
I love
We don't have to hold on. We don't have to worry that
it.
people think of us as this identity anymore, and all those things.
Mhm.
You step into what feels good for you, and it's that's what's real. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, like I said, Kelli is such a phenomenal example of everything that she's walking and talking about here. I would encourage you to go find her on social media. We're going to put all your social media handles underneath, anyways. But
Hmm.
what's the easiest place? Where do you hang out the most? Where can people find you? It's just one social handle you can drop here.
Yeah. Yeah, Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, Kelli X Falla. And yeah, just I've got some exciting things in there. You can follow me, you can feel into me, you can resonate or you don't have to resonate. It's just nice to
Yeah.
uncover for yourself, like not one way of thinking.
Yeah.
And something might trigger you inside that, you might find that shift within as well, and try new things. So think and feel and all those things.
Mhm. Amazing. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Kelli. We'll have to do this again.
Mm,
I'm just going to go
yeah.
ahead. Oh, and I'm going to thank our listeners. And as always, because I really wanted to create this experience where you could drop in and tune in and really start to clarify what this midlife journey means to you. So just take a moment and reflect on, what were the most important insights, or what was the most important takeaway from our conversation today? And how can you honor that? What's just one step that you can do to honor that? Maybe it's going and grabbing her free gift. Maybe it's just getting out into the sun more, whatever it is. I want you to be able to just like refine that and then apply it somehow. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll talk to you all soon. Bye for now.
Been a pleasure. Thank you. Bye bye.
Yes.